When you invest in food processing in Africa, there are several benefits linked to that. It depends on the crop, but like I mentioned earlier, way too much food is being imported in Africa. Well, Africa, by large, is some of the most fertile, well-irrigated land in the world. So if you invest in Africa in the food, you will reduce imports, meaning the country will use its hard-earned foreign currency for something more useful, infrastructure, education, whatever. When you invest into a factory, a food processing factory in Africa, you invest much more than in a few jobs or a few dozens or hundreds of jobs in a factory. Indirectly, you invest in thousands and thousands of farmers who are supplying this factory. So there's much more than the eye can see. By investing in food and food processing in Africa, your money, your donation, your investments will be multiplied a manyfold. I think the governments, be it our governments here in Europe or America in the West and African governments, both have a very important role to play. From the European perspective, I believe the governments need to encourage investments in Africa. Not just charity, not just basically feel sorry for them. They're not children. What Africa needs in investments is jobs. How are we going to solve the migration crisis if it isn't by investing? If it isn't by making sure that all these young men wanting to cross the sea won't do that because they have a job at home and they won't risk their life crossing the ocean or the Mediterranean Sea. So I think the roles of the European government is really to encourage European companies to invest in Africa, and there's plenty of creative means to do that. On the African side, I think the African governments need to encourage processing, industrialization. I believe one of the biggest drama of Africa today is the lack of industrialization. It has so much raw material, be it mineral or vegetal, but it has very few factories. So let's encourage people to invest there and let's protect them. Might be a little bit controversial to protect people who build something locally, but it's worthwhile and it is what is needed.